What if you just stopped? Like, seriously, stop for a second and really think about it. What if you just dropped everything you're doing right now? Not tomorrow, not next Monday, not after this week is over. Right now. No big plan, no backup strategy, no perfect system waiting in the wings. Just stop. Would your whole life fall apart? Or be honest with yourself here. Would it finally feel like something real is starting to happen? Because here's the thing most people don't want to admit. A lot of us don't actually need more plans. We need a break from the ones that are quietly wrecking us from the inside. Let me ask you something, and don't just brush past this one, okay? Take a second. When was the last time you actually felt like you were in control of your day? Not just busy, not distracted, not kind of productive while your mind's somewhere else. I mean really in control. Like you woke up, knew what mattered, and actually moved through the day on your own terms. Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? Most days don't feel like that anymore. They feel automatic, like you're on rails. You wake up, and before your brain even wakes up properly, your hand's already reaching for the phone. You don't even decide to do it, it just happens. You open one app, then another, then another. You're not even really enjoying it. You're just there, scrolling, consuming, letting stuff wash over your mind without really noticing. And somewhere in the middle of all that, you tell yourself, okay, just 5 more minutes. Just 5, that's all. And then you blink and it's been an hour, sometimes 2. And now something feels off. Your head feels heavy. Your energy's tanked. Your focus? Completely gone. And then you say that line we've all said way too many times. I just can't focus anymore. But if we're being really honest with each other, that's not the full truth. Your brain didn't just randomly break down one day. It didn't suddenly stop working. It adapted perfectly, exactly the way it was trained to. Think about it for a second. Every single time you pick up your phone and scroll, every notification that pulls you in, every short video that gives you that quick little hit of entertainment, your brain is learning something. It's learning, this is easy. This feels good right away. This doesn't ask anything hard from me. So over time, it starts expecting that, craving that. And here's where it gets sneaky and kind of dangerous. Because now, when real work shows up, the kind that actually matters, it feels different. It feels heavy, slow, uncomfortable. Not because the work itself is impossible, but because your brain is comparing it to all those effortless little hits it's been getting all day. And guess what it chooses every single time? The easy option. Not because you're weak or lazy or anything like that, but because that's literally how your brain works. It's wired to go for the path of least resistance. And here's the part a lot of people don't really like to look at too closely. You already know what you should be doing. You're not confused about it. You're not lost. You don't need another productivity hack or another how to fix your life video. You know, deep down, exactly what needs to get done. So why aren't you doing it? Because you're avoiding it. Yeah, let's just say it straight, no sugarcoating. You're avoiding it, not because you're a lazy person. That's not it. But because of what comes along with it, the pressure, the uncertainty, that uncomfortable knot in your stomach when you think about whether it'll even work out. That quiet little fear in the back of your mind that whispers, what if I actually try? And nothing changes anyway? So your brain does what brains do best. It steps in to protect you. It says things like, let's just scroll a little more. First, or you can start later when you're in a better mood, or today's not the right day. And just like that, another whole day slips away. No big dramatic failure. No moment you can point to and say, that's when it all went wrong. Just gone, quietly. And then there's this thought that shows up sometimes. You don't really say it out loud. You barely even admit it to yourself. But it's there. I don't actually want to work. Not in the way people usually mean it, though. It's not that you hate putting in effort. You've worked hard before. You know you can do it again when it matters. That's not the issue. The real problem is you hate meaningless effort. You hate feeling like you're just spinning your wheels, doing stuff that feels empty, pointless, like you're moving, but you're not actually going anywhere that matters to you. And instead of stepping back and asking the hard question, why does this feel so meaningless right now? You just stay in it. You stay in the same routine, doing the same things day after day. Because the alternative, leaving that behind, that feels uncomfortable, uncertain, a little scary if we're being real. And then one night, usually when everything else is quiet and the house is dark, it hits you out of nowhere. That thought, what if I stay like this forever? What if this version of your life isn't just a rough patch? What if this is just how it is now? Same routines, same habits, same excuses, same you. Just older. 5 years from now. 10 years from now. Still sitting there thinking, yeah, I'll start soon. That thought doesn't fire you up and make you jump out of bed ready to change everything. Let's be honest, it scares the hell out of you. Because somewhere deep down you're starting to believe it might actually be true. And then it gets even heavier, because that fear starts to shift and change shape. It goes from, I'm stuck right now, to something worse. I think this is just who I am. I think I'll always be average. I think this is as far as I go. Man, that one lands different, doesn't it? Because now it's not just a bad phase. It starts to feel like your identity, like some kind of truth about you. But here's what you're missing in that moment. That's not who you are. That's just repetition. That's what happens when the same behaviors play on repeat for long enough that they start to sound like your personality. But it's not you. It's just what you've been doing. And then the hesitation kicks in hard. That resistance. The voice that says, I'm scared I'll never actually make it. And this one's real. You can't just brush it off. Because you've tried before. You've felt motivated before. You've made plans, started strong. And then it didn't stick. Or nothing really changed. So now your brain is tired, not lazy, tired. And it's trying to look out for you in its own way. It says, why put yourself through that again? Why try if it might just end the same way? And without even realizing it, you slowly stop trying altogether. Pretty soon you start questioning bigger things. Hard work, success, the whole idea of making it in the first place. You look around and think, I've seen people grind for years and still barely get by. So what's the point? Is hard work even real? Or is it just something people say to keep everyone chasing? Now you're caught between two exhausting thoughts. Do I push even harder? Or am I just wasting my time completely? And that confusion, it drains you more than almost anything else. And slowly, without you even clocking it happening, you start feeling nothing. The things that used to light you up, they don't hit the same way anymore. You laugh less, you care less, you feel kind of disconnected from your goals, from your own energy, even from yourself sometimes. Your days turn into this simple loop. Scroll, eat, sleep, repeat. And at some point you catch yourself thinking, I don't really enjoy anything anymore. But it's not because life suddenly has nothing good left to offer. It's because you've been disconnected from it for so long that the signal got weak. So let's circle back to where we started. What if you actually quit everything right now? Not your real responsibilities, not your whole life, but the patterns, the constant distractions, that endless need for easy stimulation, that autopilot mode you've been living on. Because that's the real trap, not your circumstances, not your environment. It's the patterns. Here's something nobody really says out loud, but it's true. Your life doesn't just magically get better over time if you keep doing the same stuff. It just repeats, over and over. Slightly different days, different dates, same habits, same mindset, same small decisions. Unless you interrupt it, and that interruption doesn't come from some burst of motivation. Motivation is flaky. It shows up, gets you excited, and then disappears when things get hard. Real change comes from awareness. That clear-eyed moment where you look at your life without all the noise and distractions and excuses and you just think, yeah, this isn't working. That's the moment where something can actually shift. Look, you're not lazy. You're not broken. You're not hopelessly behind. You're just stuck. Stuck in a loop that feels completely normal because you've been living in it for so long. But it's not normal. And the second you really see it, not just hear the words, but actually feel it in your gut, you get something that most people never fully use. Choice. The ability to do something different today, even if it's small, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it doesn't feel perfect or ready. If this hit a little too close to home, if it felt a bit too real, that wasn't an accident. That's awareness finally knocking. So the real question isn't whether this was relatable. It's this. What are you actually going to do with it? Because knowing all of this, and then going right back to the same patterns, that's exactly how the loop keeps going. And you already know how that story ends.